All right, so ladies and gentlemen of Knucklehead Nation, welcome to a special episode of the Fighters Rep podcast. And I am absolutely delighted to be joined by none other than a local legend, a guy who I think should be a worldwide international legend. That's Crew. How you doing today, sir?
Good, man. Sounds a little choppy, but I'm doing well, man. How's everything? Excited for the fights?
Oh, very excited for the fights, and I apologize for the, whatever technical issues we're going through right now. I'm hoping they clear themselves up. But yeah, I mean, excited for the fights, not only, you know, do we have actually, but, obviously a lot of talented young fighters on the show. And so, definitely gearing up, always busy doing that. But I wanted to ask about you, Crew. The last time I spoke to you or I got to speak to you on the channel was 2 years ago, man. We
That's
were
right.
in the midst of COVID. I came and sat down with you at the old Los Angeles Muay Thai location. There is a brand
Mhm.
new Los Angeles Muay Thai location. Kind of tell me what you've been up to in these past couple years.
Man, that whole pandemic thing. I mean, we were still grinding in there. We were still. I mean, you went to our open sparring. We have a lot of talent there. Different gyms stopped by, and we just put in work. So we never really stopped during that time.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So the building that we were at, they sold the building. The owner sold the building, so we were kind of forced to move.
Ah.
And I really like that location. I like the building itself. It was really old, and it was a landmark there in East LA. So it was kind of hard to let go of that place. But God knows what's best, man, and it worked out for us. This place where we're at now in Montebello, I couldn't be any more happier there. The city supports us. The community there is awesome. We're in a plaza now, so we have a lot of foot traffic for business. Business is great, and yeah, and I'm just really happy with where we're at right now.
And I love to hear that. I remember coming by there and I remember we were just dying during the pandemic, especially for the promoters like myself. They weren't letting us do anything. Luckily, you
Mhm.
guys were, able to kind of keep your doors open. And I remember coming by there and getting that sparring footage. And man, that video's done pretty well. People are still watching that video, man.
You had a lot of talent in there. You had a lot of talent from amateurs to pro fighters. Some of these guys that fight in like big promotions as well, like in terms of like the MMA fighters. So
Yeah,
yeah, man.
yeah.
And some of these guys are on your show too. So I mean, those were the days, man. We had some great sparring sessions. We're still having some really good sparring sessions, but I know the times that you were there, it was fucking lit, man. We were going hard.
Oh man. I mean, that shit was crazy. It was on the YouTube channel, which I'm kind of happy about. So you mentioned, you guys are now in Montebello. I got the chance to come visit the new location. I think it's a great location. I mean, you're kind of right there in the corner of this strip mall in a very busy area.
Hmm.
I felt like the last gym was a little bit more, it was still busy in the area, but it was kind of more isolated. This one is like right in the
Yes, exactly.
right in the heart of this strip mall. How do you feel about kind of the positioning of the gym like that?
Man, I love it. I love it. It's right on Whittier Boulevard. I mean, Whittier Boulevard's a known street throughout LA, especially on the east side. So
Yeah.
we're on Whittier Boulevard in Garfield, and I mean that's a prime location. We have that plaza itself has been a part of that community for a long time. So I think a lot of people were surprised to see a martial arts gym or a Muay Thai gym at that. There's not really any Muay Thai gyms around there, and so we've been embraced by the community, which is a blessing.
And I noticed the community embracing you. You're not just saying that. I recently saw on social media that you guys were getting awards for doing things with the kids in the community. If you don't mind, if you could kind of share a little bit of the details about what happened there, because I did see that you guys were recognized, but I don't want to speak out of ignorance and say the wrong thing. If you could just let me know what happened there, because it looks like you guys are doing some good things for that community.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. So the mayor of Montebello invited us to their meeting in City Hall, and we took some of the fighters that we took to Arizona. We did the USMTO tournament. We took those fighters, and also some of the trainers showed up, and yeah, they're just recognizing us for what we're doing in the city, for our community, for the youth. When we first opened up the gym, one of my main goals was to have kids in the inner city train Muay Thai. I had gone to the World Championships in Belarus to represent the U.S. And one of the main things that I noticed was that the other countries, they had so much experience, and that was the difference. The difference wasn't like the skill level; it was their experience. They knew how to play the game. They knew how to fight under those rules. So I thought if we gave our kids or our youth the opportunity to start at a young age, especially in the inner city, if we gave them an opportunity to train, that we can, there's no reason why we can't be or compete with the best in the world. And so, I've been there in East LA for 4.5 years. We did a lot. We were able to really build the program, but now that we're in Montebello, we're finally getting recognized for the work that we're doing.
And I love how you've kind of gotten involved with the city, and in turn the city's involved, and you bring up Belarus. I think it's important for people to understand, right? Because not everybody understands the fight game like the people that are kind of in it. But you talk about Belarus and countries over there in Russia and Eastern Europe, their governments actually get behind their
Absolutely.
fighters. They're
Mhm.
like, I mean, my understanding is some of these people, they're getting paid like a stipend or a salary. They're getting paid for their training and stuff, crew. You know, and that does kind of give them an advantage. So I really appreciate that somebody like you, who's represented for the country overseas and seen that for himself, is kind of trying to create an initiative where the government, or at least the city's somehow involved. I think I wish we could get more involvement, if I was being honest with you.
Yeah, I think this is only the beginning. And I think if other gyms would do the same thing, and actually, a lot of these cities don't know what the gyms are actually doing, and I feel like Muay Thai it's growing, but in terms of other martial arts or other fight combats, boxing, MMA, even kickboxing. Like you have some big kickboxing promotions. FightersRep is right there at the top when it comes to U.S. promotions. I feel like the gyms also have to do their part and let it be known that they're doing good for the community, that they're putting in this work, that they're helping out the youth, that they're helping out just people in general. It's not only about the kids, but that we're helping out just people in the community. It really changes lives. This martial art is really changing a lot of lives. I see it happen, day in and day out.
Hey, crew, sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're
Okay,
chopping. You're a little choppy, but yeah, I can hear you.
I don't the wheel for my Wi-Fi, whatever it is. But you were talking about, you mentioned MMA, boxing. You said even kickboxing, and then I lost you after that one.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, a lot of these other sports are they're 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 there. They're on the prime time. They're the a lot of people know about who these boxers are. You mentioned Canelo, they'll know who Canelo is. You'll
Yeah,
mention
yeah, yeah.
even this past fight, Jake Paul, Anderson Silva. You know, you're more familiar with other combat sports than you are with Muay Thai. But I think it's part of our job as trainers, as gym owners, as fighters to educate people and really put it out there so that they know what we're doing for the community, that they that we're taking it serious, just as serious as any other combat sport.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And one of the things, crew, that I think it's nice that you say kickboxing, but I would probably say, kickboxing is pretty pretty unpopular as well when you compare
Right,
it to MMA and boxing. But
right.
appreciate I appreciate that sentiment. But I would say Muay Thai definitely, obviously, kick more respect than it gets.
You're breaking up, George.
Boxing is just so, I don't know what's going on here. Can you hear me, crew?
I can hear you now. You're breaking
Yeah,
up
I
a little.
don't. I really don't know what's happening. This thing is showing that the internet is actually working fast, but for whatever reason, maybe it's this app keeps dropping it. But I was saying, I think Muay Thai, man. Gosh, I mean, if I'm a promoter of kickboxing, but if anyone deserves some respect, Muay Thai is such a brutal crew. I gotta say, and everything else. It just Muay Thai for me feels like, that's just a very, I mean, you competed right at the highest level. You represented the country. Is what I'm saying off here? That's just a very brutal sport.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think in terms of stand-up martial arts, even I mean, MMA is up there as well, but I say Muay Thai is more brutal, just because you don't have the chance to wrestle, to rest, to to hold each other. And again, no disrespect to MMA, I'm a huge fan of the sport, but we don't have that luxury. If things are getting tough, you don't get a chance to tap out. You're gonna get knocked out, or you're gonna quit, and everyone's gonna see it. Um, you look at some of these fighters, and the fact that they're able to compete so often in such a brutal sport is just a testament to the willpower that Thai fighters have. You know, um, I'm still kind of. I think we have to do a better job of promoting the sport. The sport has been in the U.S. for a long time. People think that it's new to the U.S., but it isn't. And we since like the mid to late 70s has been in the US. Other countries that are newer to the sport, and they're really pushing it, and they've gotten a chance to grow and have bigger promotions. And I think that this part of the job that's part of what you're doing, as a kickboxing promoter.
Wow, that's
Kickboxing,
an
Muay Thai,
achievement.
is it still doing the same thing? What's up, George? You need to pay your bills before you talk to
Crew,
me,
you
man.
there? Crew.
Yes, I'm here.
Did I lose
What's
you
going
again?
on, brother?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think what's his name? Elon Musk bought Twitter and blew up my
Fucked
app over
everything
here,
up.
brother.
Yeah. Is this a new
But
is this something new that you're using, or is this what you
it's
usually use?
this is what I usually I'm using a different camera. I don't think the camera should be affecting it. But hey, they say they hear you and you're what matters. So the hell
All
with me.
right,
We got
cool.
Hung
Well,
in
what's up,
here.
people? I'm glad
Hung
you guys
in.
hear me.
Hung's in here. Taylor Alfaro's in here. We
Yo,
got
those are my
Chris
brothers right
Cully in
there.
here.
Yeah, those are my brothers.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
What's
so
up, Hung? Fireworks, what's
uh
up?
for sure, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I actually was by Hung recently. He told me, "Oh, I know David, he's a beast of a coach and this and that."
Yo, if you guys can hear me, someone's got to pay for George's internet service. This guy's internet
You
service
know,
is all over the place.
there are a lot, man. So it's like really.
Like chopped and screwed.
God, Hung just wrote David, so handsome. Wow.
He's speaking facts.
Hung, you've got that
That's my boy.
David, you've
I've
got some
known
fans on
Hung
here,
for a
brother.
long time, man. I known Hung for I don't know, probably close to 20 years. I've known that guy for a long time. I love what he's doing out in Long Beach with this, and he's opening up new gyms, man. This guy, he's always had a passion for it as a fighter. So to see him doing it as a trainer, as a gym owner, yeah, big ups to Hung and his crew.
For sure. Big shout out to Hung. Big shout out to Hardworks Fitness. You know, for the most part, I mean, his team rarely loses, man. I told him that the other day, man. You guys don't really lose too much, man. So that's got to feel good, you know, to not just be doing it, but doing it successfully. You know what I mean?
Are you talking about Hung or are you talking about me?
I'm talking about the both of you. I'm talking about.
Hey guys, I'm not sure what's going on. If you guys can hear me, I'm not sure what's going on with George's phone or with his internet service. But if you guys can hear me, check out his show, FightersRep, December 3rd. Gonna be a lot of good fights. Yo, man, I'm keeping this show going without you, George.
You know what? You just run this thing, and you know, you tell me what happens afterwards. You know what I mean? I'll try to come in when I can.
Pretty much what's happening. I'm gonna have to get Juby in there, man.
Man, next time, you know, listen. Next time we just got to do this in person, man. Because if this is the way Al Gore's internet is going to be treating me, and Elon Musk's internet is going to be treating me, you know, this is abusive, bro. This is abusive.
It's all good, man. But I'm looking forward to your.
But and I'm looking forward to having you on, man. And you know what's crazy to me is we're getting D'Lo back. You know, your young fighter, your young project that I know you're working on. You know, D'Angelo Gianni. You know, I want to say his last fight for us, which was just a couple months back, was maybe his first or second fight.
That was his third fight. That was his third fight.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was his third fight, and he's Now since then he did the Arizona tournament, which he won. Man, that kid's a beast. He fought 3 times in one day. Had to rest for a full day, and then so he fought 3 times on Friday. Didn't fight on Saturday. On Sunday was the finals, and he won the tournament. But you know, for those of you who have done tournaments or that know about it, it's easier to get. I mean, it's not easy to get 3 fights by any means, but the longer that you rest, the more those injuries start to appear. Right, your shins are going to be sore, your thighs are going to be sore, your body's going to be sore. So for him to have to wait an entire day, you could just imagine how banged up he was feeling before entering the finals. You know, and props to his opponent. I don't remember the kid's name off the top of my head right now, but props to his opponent. His opponent fought 3 times as well, you know, so it takes a certain type of person to be able to do that.
And, you know, and he's had, you know, since he fought for us, I mean, it's been another, 4 fights? Because he fought again after that tournament, right?
So he did the tournament, and then he fought a couple weeks later for another promotion. And, he did his thing there, too. So
it's like, I mean, he's like tripled his experience almost since we last saw him. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So in 2 weeks, he had 5 fights. Which is, I mean, if you're a fighter, you know how difficult that is. So you know, he trains his ass off. You know, we're trying to improve every day. That's something that you want to see. You know, like you can't plateau. You always have to be working on something. You always have to be getting better. So you know, as long as he keeps training hard, keeps his eyes on the prize, stays on the grind, this kid can accomplish as much as he wants to in the sport. You know, with that being said, you know, I do see a lot of fighters that come and go, fighters that have their momentum, and then for whatever reason they lose it. So it's our job at the gym to make sure he stays hungry, and we need to feed him. You're helping us feed him, you know. So shows like this will keep the young fighters motivated to train to continue to grow.
And my goodness, I mean, what a night he had at that last Fighters Rep event. I mean, I gotta say, David, I haven't heard a reaction like that in the crowd for an amateur fighter. I mean that was just insane. I mean, I mean, it was a devastating knockout. It was a beautiful knockout.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you call it from the corner on the
Yeah.
replay. I listened back to it. I heard you call the combination that ended the
Mm-hmm.
fight right immediately before it ended.
Right. Yeah.
So obviously, big props to you.
Thank you.
But I mean, I couldn't even hear myself think once he landed that shot and that kid went down. I mean, my goodness, my goodness.
I mean, the blow itself was loud. You could hear it on the video. You know, you could just hear the smack. But I think what made it even more dramatic was the way that he fell. You know, and I'm glad the kid's okay. You know, it's part of the
Yeah.
sport. We go there, we want to win. If we get the knockout, great. But you know, we don't want anyone to be seriously injured. You know, we have families that go out and watch the fights and support us and root for us. So you know, it's hard for family members, for friends, for teammates to see something like that. But luckily for us, we were on the you know on the right side of that. And
Right.
yeah, man, the crowd went crazy. You know, like we had a crowd there. We always go out. You know, the pack is always out. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like the entire venue was going crazy for that one.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it definitely wasn't just D'Lo fans and the Los Angeles Muay Thai fans, which there were a lot there, obviously. I mean, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you guys, selling those tickets and putting those bodies in those seats. That's important
Yeah.
for the sport. But that whole place erupted. I mean, that place just exploded, and I've told people, I've heard crowds roar, obviously at our shows, but man, that was definitely one of those big moments where I said to myself, "Wow, that kid's confidence after that and his star power. I mean, for me, just went through the roof, and I hope we could continue to." Build up kids like him and kids that are serious about the sport. By the way, guys, if you're just joining us now, we're not going to last too much longer here, Crew David. I don't want to drive you crazy with this horrible reception. It's driving me crazy too. But before you guys, do anything, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Follow Crew David, King Tong, Huerta at Los Angeles Muay Thai on Instagram. Definitely check him out. He's got a whole stable of young fighters upcoming there. If you want to go check them out there in Montebello, that's the new location. Go check him out for sure. And obviously, you could follow us as well on social media at FightersRep. Crew, I wanted to ask you, I don't want to keep you too much longer, man, but how many D-Los do you have brewing over there at Los Angeles Muay Thai? I want to say he's not the only one. I saw you took some young pups, some young lions out there to Arizona that look like they're a couple years behind D'Lo. Let me know a little bit about that.
Well, we took 5 kids or 5 fighters to Arizona. D'Lo was the only adult. So the
Wow.
youngest was 11. We had a 13-year-old and 2 16-year-olds. So I mean, we're yeah, that we have fighters that we're really preparing them. I mean, if you're gonna fight out of our gym, we're gonna put you through the ringer. You know, there's a lot that we expect out of each fighter, and I was happy for the way that the team fought in Arizona, but that's also what I expect. You know, we expect excellence, and if people are coming to the gym and they want to compete, the first thing I'm going to ask them is if they're sure they want to compete, because they're going to have to go through hell to compete for us. If they want to represent our team, they have to represent it the right way. I mean, they're not only representing themselves. I don't want someone who's only thinking about themselves.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to represent the team, and I'm a trainer there. I'm the owner of the gym, but you know, I'm the young buck when it comes to my team. We have Cruz Zarate there, and we have Montri there. So you're not just going to represent yourself. You're not just going to represent the team, but you're going to represent all of us. So I need to make sure that whoever goes out there and competes for us is prepared. If not, then it's not so much about winning or losing. That's part of the game. We give it 100% when we train. It's my job to make sure that the fighters are ready when they go out there. I need to be confident that they're going to give it everything that they have. Usually, that's enough to take home the W. But if we don't, as long as they fight with heart and they show good Muay Thai skills, I'll be okay with it. But if I send someone out there that's not ready, my trainers are gonna get on my ass about it. So again, it's not about just representing one person. It's the whole tribe. So Jumbi's in there grinding, talking shit to these guys as well. Like you have a lot of eyes. They have a lot of eyes on them. And it's different when it's a team that has trainers that have actually done it at a high level. You know, Chris is the MMA, kickboxing, Muay Thai champion. I'm a Muay Thai champion. Been doing this for a long time. My trainers have been in the game forever, pioneers of Muay Thai in the U.S. So we know what to expect, and we know that it can be done. Now it's up to the fighter. We can't want it more than the fighter does,
Right.
And if they want to fight, they have to show us. They have to prove to us that's really what they want. And if they do, shit, I'll back them 100%. Hold their hands the whole way. But they need to put in their work too, and I think that's what makes our gym different than a lot of other gyms. We're not just throwing people out there to have our fighters on a card. We want to make sure whoever does go out there is going to represent the team well. And we have a gang of soldiers. We're ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the future's looking good, and I have noticed that it's quality over quantity with you guys for sure.
100%.
Man, I really like that, and I appreciate that. You mentioned Cully's out there. I know he's teaching them some of the MMA vibe too. I know you guys are more focused as a Muay Thai gym, but you're competing with us as a kickboxing promotion. I know you guys are touching up a lot of MMA fighters and helping them with their striking because they definitely need it in their sport as well. You're kind of cross-pollinating with all the different sports and all the different gyms, man. I mean, how does it feel to have that sort of effect in the community?
I mean, I've been doing this for a while. This is what we
Yeah.
do. Like I feel like if you have a solid Muay Thai background, it's gonna help you with MMA. If you understand how to do Muay Thai, you should be able to do kickboxing. I don't understand people saying like, "Well, I can't clinch. They're taking away my weapons." It's the art of 8 limbs. Maybe they take away a couple weapons. You still have 4 other weapons that you can use,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can still use knees. You just can't clinch in kickboxing, right? So I think if you're a good at Muay Thai, you could also box. We have our boy Caleb Cisneros who's also boxing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's a combat sport, and I think Thai boxing is great for any of the other sports. So I'm really confident in our training, our system, and yeah, if you guys need help, pull on up. Just
I
make sure
love it. I
your
love it.
trainers. If you don't, it's not gonna work out.
And we definitely got to come by there, I hope, and get some more sparring footage one day, man, because
Anytime,
that was
brother.
classic. Thank you, man.
Anytime.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anytime.
And obviously, I think we'll get some great footage of D'Lo and potentially any other fighter representing for Los Angeles Muay Thai at this next Fighters Rep, man. It should be very exciting on December 3rd, guys. Get your tickets at FightersRep.com. You're not going to want to miss
That's right.
D'Lo and potentially James Liu, who might be, cornered by Chris Cully, assuming he comes
Mhm.
through for this next card. That should be a lot of fun. Crew David, I appreciate you. Before I let you go, though, you said you had 5 guys at Arizona. Let me know how that went. What were the results out there?
Yeah, so we had the 5. We had 3 that came back with gold, so they won the tournament. We had one kid. Little Dominic Flores, 11 years old. Man, he's used to fighting already, you know. So he ended up getting points taken away in the final for punching the other kid in the face. You know, two of them which were just like a cross phase. It wasn't an actual punch.
Yeah,
But yeah, we lost that one, and then we had another kid, Yair, who also made it to the semifinals. So out of the 5 fighters, 3 got gold, 1 silver, 1 bronze. You know, so I'm,
impressive,
I'm
man,
happy, I'm happy
impressive.
with it. Yeah, like I said, that's what we train for, though. That's what we train for. You know, um, I had I had my eyes set on all 5 gold, but you know, it doesn't always pan out that way. But like I said, as long as our fighters compete, show heart, show good Muay Thai technique, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I gotta ask you, am I a little selfish because when you guys go out there, and when any gym that competes for us goes out there, I just,
You
I
want us
just
to
want
win?
them to win, and I'm
Fuck
like,
yeah,
fuck.
yeah,
And I'm following you guys on social media, and I'm
yeah,
like, I'm telling Cully, like, what's happening? Like, did you guys win? You know what I
yeah.
mean?
I'm talking to him too. I'm like busy, but I'm like, yo, have you talked to George yet? Let him know how we do it. You know, absolutely. We need to keep the promoters happy. You know, they're gonna keep us fighting. We need to keep you guys happy.
Yeah, yeah. You know, it's like a bond forms. You know, it's not, I just joke
Absolutely,
around. I'm saying it's selfish, but obviously, like, I want your guys to win. I also, you know, part of it is like, yeah, these guys are fighting for us, you know, but it's also, it's like, yeah, they're fighting for us. They're like family, you know. We want them to go out there and kick ass.
absolutely. Yeah, and
So
we're glad to
that's what it
represent.
is. I love it. I love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure sitting down with King Tong, Crew David Huerta, you know, the man behind Los Angeles Muay Thai, one of the legendary Muay Thai gyms in the country, definitely out here on the West Coast. And Crew, man, thank you so much for your time. You know, it's a pleasure. I know you're very busy. You're working crazy hours. You own that gym. You're teaching all these kids from age 11 to age 40, you and maybe even beyond that. So
Yeah,
I appreciate you taking some time out of your day to talk to me.
absolutely. And thank you for having us not only on this platform but on your show, man. You've always been a solid guy, George. Nothing but respect to you and your team, and we look forward to competing December 3rd.
Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate you, Crew. See you guys there. Get your tickets at FightersRep.com. And again, definitely check out Los Angeles Muay Thai. Give them a follow on Instagram. We'll see you guys soon, man. Thank you, Crew. Have a great night.